KZ company. We are Earth Observation Services company, and established almost 10 years ago, based on Tartu Observatory Synthetic Aperture Radar Research Group. Here is our team members last year, Christmas time, I think, picture. We were also in ESA-BIC Estonia for 2 years. I think it's useful for, especially for the networking. We mainly have developed as bootstrapping. It's client funding and R&D funding. Only in 2023 we got the first private investment in, so that was already almost 8 years after we were established. And primarily we took the angel investors to get the relations, to get the talented people on board to think along with us. Yeah. And last year, November, we won the third prize in the ESA Commercialization Award with the Freedesar mission concept. What we are special about, I think it's 2 things, is the synthetic aperture radar knowledge, coherence calculations. This specific B-sensor we are not doing. This B-sensor we are leaving to Oliver and Co, Sille and value space. But what is about the, let's say, the interferometric processing of large areas of forests and fields, then this we are doing. And we were established from a need for the agricultural subsidy checks service. But we started to serve the first countrywide service we started to offer in Europe back in 2018 together with GGI Estonia. And currently with our 28 people team, we do applications in agriculture and forestry and defense. Here in the picture is a Sentinel-1 backscatter image with a little bit better than average noise suppression. I think here is a multi-temporal average. We are a team of 28, and out of these 28 people, we have 7 PhDs. Actually, we have never put a goal for ourselves that we should hire only PhDs, but somehow naturally the PhDs want to join us. And we have 3 offices in Estonia. The main office is in Tartu. There is also an office in Tallinn with 5 people, and our co-founder Tanel Tamm is in Kuressaare office. So this year's revenue will be about 1.5 times bigger as last year's. Yeah. Here is our revenue share by projects for 2 years look. I think 2 years look is a bit better than 1 year's because let's say projects are usually longer lasting, and 1 year is not giving you so fair picture of the long term. So large part of it is the AMS, which is the Agricultural Monitoring Service for Estonia, for Denmark. Still, actually, I can reveal that we are operating them with loss. It's providing the services, it's not earning back fully. Other activities help to keep them over water. Back in the defense project, where we do the drone visual navigation, GNSS-3, only based on camera image navigated drones. Yeah. We also developed Kappa mask. So those who are interested in Sentinel-2 data, and you want to do cloud mask filtering, go and check out Kappa mask. It should do you a good job, better job than Send2Core. It's available from GitHub. You can download it and run it. A little bit more about the subsidy checks. Currently, we are the service provider for Estonia and Denmark. And There are 4-year framework contracts. Currently, it's the 3rd year. And what it includes? It includes crop type detection. What crop is growing in a field, we detect it. How do we do it? We do it not only based on a single image, but actually a stack of images. And if you have the stack, the time series of images, you can way increase your accuracy. Because then you have the phenology and how a crop responds. In, let's say, if you take a single Sentinel-2 image, maybe rye and wheat, you are not able to distinguish. But if you have the growth curve, the phenological cycle, then you can do much better. Then we do mowing detection where we started, we do harvesting detection, we do tillage detection, in homogeneous areas detection. There is a long list of checks what is done based on Earth observation data. And it's probably you have heard in all European Union, there is common agricultural policy that farmers are paid subsidies if they follow some certain practices. And now the state needs to check if the practices are followed. And we help do the checks, which historically were done with boots on the ground with inspectors. Here is an example of how all the Estonian agricultural fields are located. The areas which are not part of agricultural fields are marshlands and water bodies. 140,000 fields that we monitor. Actually, this is not all the fields. In Estonia, there are about 200,000 fields. We monitor 140,000 larger ones because of the Sentinel resolution limit. And if you look at the number of the fields, then we lose 60,000 fields. Oh, it's so bad, we lose 60,000 fields. 1/3 is not monitored. But if you look at the area of the fields, then the fields that we are not monitoring are really small. And they are monitoring area-wise 96% of the area. Yeah. Waiting for the Sentinel-1 and Sentinel-2 next generation to be launched by ESA. We can go to the smaller fields also. Yeah. Yeah, please.
Agency that monitoring these 60,000 fields is okay.
Yeah. It was not so hard, but actually some people who are not very economically thinking and who are not often thinking about the scale of things, they are still very troubled that this 5% of area is not monitored. And then they want to buy, can we have this way higher data about all of Estonia? Can we have 30 centimeter resolution data? Then we try to explain that to have repeat, let's say you need some 20 repeated images of it to do the full service, that it's going to cost you millions. Then they are not interested anymore. Yeah. The crop classification, we are proud of 28 crop type groups. The number of specific crops in agriculture, of course, is way bigger. 28 groups is already a lot. Also in Denmark, there is even more fields. Not only because the fields are smaller, but also Denmark is very agricultural country. If you look at European countries, then there are 2 countries with the largest percentage of agricultural land. One is Denmark and the other is
Netherlands.
Exactly. Denmark, Netherlands, I don't know what is third actually.
Okay.
Ukraine probably also, yes. Ukraine also has a lot of agricultural land. Not part of European Union yet. Soon, hopefully. And Belgium also, I think, is quite agricultural. Poland, maybe. Lithuania is way more agricultural than Latvia. Always when I'm going to Sembala, then I feel that this is not Latvia anymore. This is almost Lithuania. But yeah, you know, of course, better. Yeah, in Denmark, we work together with DHI. Tillage detection was one of the recent ESA projects and a really good and successful example of ESA R&D project. So we were able to develop a very good tillage detection model, and there is reasonable commercial interest for it. Also, the agricultural companies are interested for the tillage detection service. The sales cycle, of course, takes time, and we cannot report big commercial success yet. Finally, the forestry. You might have heard, we shared in LinkedIn that we won a large forest change detection monitoring contract, clear-cut monitoring contract for Estonian government. And now this project has started. We are developing the system. We did a successful pilot. What this project is about? It's somehow similar to Tainis, what you reported about open pit mines. It's like what is in the registry and what is in reality. Registry, reality. So the state wants to have a good overview, and also general public, that how much forest is actually cut and does it correspond to the plans. In the state forest, actually, it's quite well known already, but in the private forest is a bit more like Wild West. And finally, this FreeDesire mission, this very crazy idea that we are going to make Sentinel-1 data from 2D to 3D. I'm going to talk tomorrow. And it started actually with a discussion from ESA technical officer, Gordon Campbell, 2022, I think, yeah. And this is in phase 0 is completed. With ESA ESTEC, phase A has started, and we are raising the investment. Just now the lead investor candidate was texting me that he can go on, and they would like to talk with the letters of intent companies and so on. So sooner or later, we are going to make it. This mission will enable us the forest monitoring in 3D. Why it is such a big thing? Like talking with outside people, then they think that, but there are so many of these forest height measurement satellite missions. No, there aren't. There is, of course, LiDAR data. There is local LiDAR data, and you can go to hug the trees and measure them manually. But if you would like to have really global data and frequent data, then there is no such data. There is Altimeter that is doing the point measurements. But if you would like to have whole rasters, whole country, continuous data, then there is no such data. And our data will be the first global forest height data, global and frequent forest height data. The motivation is that all these forest estimates, like carbon stock, stem volume, the current satellite models, satellite-based models, are with about 60% accuracy. Why so? Because there is no direct volume measurement. There are proxy methods. You try to estimate the amount of biomass by the color of the forest, which is directly physically not correlated, or you by radar backscatter, or radar repeat pass coherence. It's a proxy, but we are measuring it with across-track, bistatic across-track SAR interferometry, beautiful scientific term. Then we are measuring the height directly. There are actually two ways to do it. It's via volume coherence and via the phase differences. And thanks to this, we can get the accuracy from 60% to 90%. And that is all. Thank you for your attention.